Alright boys and girls, and welcome back to another building video. The base that won Twitch Rivals was awesome, but it was big, so let's cut it in half. Here is a base with great mobility, a cheeky open core, a cool compound, and a nice China wall. The surrounding bedrooms are equipped with a funnel wall. Our mountain roof is efficient and aesthetic, and your starter base can be bunkered with ease, allowing you to easily add 15 rockets to the raid cost every time you leave the base. Stick around to after the tour to find out that cost and upkeep. Alright, we'll start this tour off outside one of our external TCs. There's 6 in total, making this a 7 TC base. Our TC is disconnectable. That'll allow us to replace the main TC in core if we need to move it or replace it after a raid. Disconnect just like that and reconnects, of course. Then we can walk over to our funnel wall and you can see the base pasted in a little bit too high, but you get the idea. Our funnel wall has got some nice shotgun trap and turret angles that have been double chain linked. Then we have Patricos looking out. Over here is a nice bedroom spawn and our turret was above that. You're nice and safe in there behind the chain link. Heading over to a little China wall section where you can house some deployables. You can see that was indeed funneled. Nice tight shotgun trap angle, annoying for raiders to move around that compound. And you don't need that many beds this time, so I've gone and housed some deployables in the bottom floor. And then we've got our beds and lockers up top. Up here is a little shop vending machine as well that is drone accessible, and we get peaks looking back in from the China wall, which is nice. Heading through our front door now, we can jump up into our shell. And our shell, if you do know the Twitch Rivals base, you'll notice some big similarities here. We have our drop boxes, we have our electrical furnaces. We don't need large furnaces for this base. Electric furnaces are the best. They're much better. This single door drops down into starter, similar to our Twitch Rivals base, and it is bunkered like I showed in the beginning cinematic. Bunker breaks just like so, and it costs maybe 13 high qual to reseal again. You keep that foundation twig, and you upgrade the roof, and that's your high qual bunker there, which is nice. Starter base is just an egg core, so we get 2 loot rooms, space for bags, and then our TC is tucked away in the back behind the most doors possible. Just with some furnaces there as well, and that's our main TC there. Of course, you can hide it somewhere else. Now we jump up to our open core. This is where all the boxes are housed, all of our loot. It is 2 walls from every angle, and it's littered in garage doors. 3 turrets cover all around this area, and 6 peaks look inside the OC. Technically 7 actually, if you count this one. And we got a sponsor shoots that are attached to our shell, and they each lead up to defense floor, and of course out to shooting floor where we are now. Shooting floor consists of some really nice angles out far, down below, letting you cover all around. You can check the China wall outside. It links up to everything, keeps mobility in the space super clean, super nice. And then from there, there's one more peak up as well, giving us a quick scan halfway up the base. And then lastly, this is our defense floor. Defense floor is also covered by 3 turrets. There is a lot of respawns. It gives access to our OC peaks as well. And there's retakes outside for anyone that could be laddering up, allowing us to back up on these ramps as well. Gives us some more angles into OC, which is super nice. In the center, we have one of these bad boys. Hopefully we know what that is now. It allows us to exploit a grenade down below into open core and kill anyone that might be hanging about in there, whether that's your teammate that you want to piss off or a raider. Out onto roof, and again, roof should feel really familiar. We've got these nasty head glitch angles, lots of cool peek downs down and around and below. Really cool angles over through here, and the roof is nice and stable too, which is super important. Got a couple of extra roofs coming off here as well, just to give us some more angles, and we can drop down back here. You can't ladder through this, you can't fall through this, and it's a peak looking back in towards the base, giving us some nice angles. All the way around here, just the same. These are our wide gaps now. And of course, we've got our turret over here as well, tucked behind some chain link, and some nice head glitches that we can use all around. 3 windmills on the roof, and 3 batteries on the roof. Got some bedrooms in the center, and the batteries hidden behind here. Super simple, but smart, and as long as you hide the wires, nobody's gonna know. Super smart way of doing that, so that's where you can hide those, and boom, we're done the tour. This base is half the cost of the non-mini version, and on screen now is that full build cost. Second up is it in box mounts, so you can visualize easier. And lastly is the total upkeep, spread between 7 TCs, the main TC upholding the majority of that upkeep. Now we can move on to our build tutorial. Alright, let's start off with an egg core -1 square. We're gonna leave that alone for a second. That's gonna be our bunker, so remember, we'll add that in just at the end. And this is the cool part about this base, is you can start placing that bunker right from the beginning. You can add 4, 8, 15 rockets, whatever you need to add to that raid cost early on in the beginning. This is how we do our egg core starter though, just like that. 2 loot rooms, TC, furnace spot, and then a couple squares for bags and such. You can add a ceiling on top of that bunker section, and then we can do our shelves for our loot rooms. Just like that. This one we're going to leave twig, remember, so we can break our bunker. And then we have a raised triangle foundation. Important that we raise that one up. And then from there, you can upgrade your roof and seal your bunker just like that. You want to get this bunker high quality as soon as you can. And then from there, you're good to go. We'll expand our footprint out in this shape here, and we're going to do the exact same thing on all 3 sides. Building a hexagon, adding 2 squares, all the way around. And there we go. That's our footprint for just now. We're going to add triangles here, with triangles coming off, just to fill up that gap. And once we filled in our triangles, we're going to do squares coming off of squares. Just like that. And there we go. From here, we can start working on our shell. Every single square is going to be an entrance. They have 2 windows, 2 doors, and then there are half-height jump up with some drop boxes underneath. Just like that. For just now, we're going to be building with symmetry on. This is a big base, but essentially everything you see me do, you're going to repeat 2 more times to give you a total of 3. This base is symmetrical by 3, so that's why we're going to do that. Over here you can do some half walls, and then we can start building our mobility chute here, leaving this gap down below for a turret. And then in between both of our entrances, we have our little loot room section where the electric furnaces go. Again, we have 3-sided symmetry on, so we can build it just like this. We're starting on the bunker side, so there's no confusion. And then of course, over this side here where there's no bunker, we would add in half walls and a floor. And there's 2 sides where we would do that. Then from there, we can build the windowed section where our furnaces go. Remember, you should probably place those furnaces before the window goes down, and it'll make that placement a lot easier. Then from there, you honeycomb the top, door frames throughout, with floors on top. Just like that. Leaving these 2 other sections open without the door frame so that we can jump up to our open core. A couple of walls and some door frames in between. Half heights to finish off the OC section, and you can floor that off too. Building a little bit of our open core now, just the bare minimum, so that we have our shell sealed up, just like that. This is where symmetry comes off, and we do the frames here. 1 ramp facing in this way to give us a little bit of a peak, and then 2 ramps to give us nice and easy access mobility up into our open core. That's where the symmetry breaks, only for a moment, and then we go back to 3-sided symmetry towards our mobility chutes. Building them as I do. You can seal that with a door for just now, and then we're good and we're safe in shell. Next, we're going to start building our compound. Out here is the funnel walled section that comes with the 2 patricos. You can see that our door frames are facing each other, and they face in towards that single triangle. I'll go in depth on that a little bit more in a second. Gonna add a half height in here to get that patrico nice and good, giving us long angles across our patrico. You can see the door faces this single honeycomb triangle where our mobility chute is, and we'll do the exact same thing over on this side too. This frame connects them to the main base to make sure they don't decay, and again the door swings open towards that mobility chute triangle. Okay, now we can move over to our fake wide gap section where the China wall is. We do a small build out, we come back with triangles just like that, and that's where our China wall will go. We can start by adding that half height patrico that creates a bit of a funnel as well across the China wall, and then we can do the China wall section down the bottom with the windows and such. There we go, door frame off that. First floor is completely unattached, but then second and third floor joined together, you'll remember. Can add some doors to enter the second floor, then a single door there to create a peak, plus a section for a turret to sit, and then of course you can jump up from second to third floor, just like that. Similar design to what was in the previous Rivals base, a larger version, the big boy, and then our China wall section at the top here with the little castle roleplay wall is a lot smaller, but it still looks nice and cool. Now, all of this is currently going to be decaying. We're going to go ahead and connect it to an external TC. First, we'll do a small build out so that we can get far enough away from our main TC and then we'll build out with 4 squares. We're going to double half wall this to reduce stability, and then you can create an external of your choice, even bunkering it if you can be bothered. And from there you throw your TC down, connect it back with frames, and you can disconnect that just like I displayed in the start of the tour. There we go, we've done our 3 China walled sections. We're still rocking the symmetry. Now over this end with our mobility chute, we're going to do a small build out, then the 2 square wide gap method. Once we've done all that, we can build back with triangles, and you should be looking for this shape here. And from there, we're going to create that bed with the double chain link section. And again, we're going to be connecting all of that to an external TC as well. We do that extra build out so we can get far enough away. Then we come out with 4 squares, we double half wall, and we wrap our external however you like. Done a collection of single, double, and window there. Of course, it's completely up to you how you want to do that. You can break the foundations leading back, connect it all up with frames, and again that disconnects just like I displayed in the tour. Got a window here, and then full walls on the left and right with half walls on top of all that. Then half walls inside, just like that, giving us room for the chain link. And you can add a ceiling on top of this, and then you place a triangle for your turret to sit on as well in there too. And then we go. Add your chain link in and your doors and you're set. Lastly, we're going to complete this little China wall section by doing a small build out from our funneled door to close this last gap. And then it's up to you if you want to add barricades on top, or you can just rely on your traps and your turrets, and it's completely up to you. Now we're back on the main base and we're working on Opencore. We can add in the walls as I do and create the loot room. We're still on 3-sided symmetry, so everything I do, you're going to repeat 2 more times symmetrically around the base. Again, if you're struggling, the code is in the description as well, where you can load in the base and visualize the full version. Make life easier for you. Every loot room in the Opencore is 2 walls. It's all honeycombed, and this is our OC with all our loot rooms in place. We can build our middle section here to give more stability to the center floor, and then a ladder hatch flame on top of that to let us exploit nades through the ground. Here we're building a spot for a turret and honeycombing the outside, and then beside our turret on the left and right we're going to have floor frame with ramp peaks bringing us in. You can add half walls to the top of the mobility chute that leads into our defense floor, and we'll frame that so we don't accidentally cover that up with the floor, and we'll do our raised ramps in here to complete the peak. And lastly, we can seal in our open core. And open core is now technically safe, and you could technically depot in there. Of course, the peaks are exposed at the moment, but it's a risk you guys can take. We're going to honeycomb on top of our entrances, just like this. And then we can raise up our frames for our shooting floor. Just going to raise these up and place in the floors as I do. Over here, we get an extra nice little low wall peak that comes with the roof peak up. That allows us to check for people that are laddering up the base. Just like that. Windows on the left and right of this segment. Then over this section, we're going to add in frames and floors, and more floors here and here. Then door frames and double doors that swing out to cover up any gaps that could be laddered through or fallen through. There we go, just like that. And nice and simple, windows everywhere else. We're going to get a couple more frames in our shooting floor for stability, and they're going to go where I place them now. Just like that. And some on this side too. Again, that symmetry is still on, so you're repeating everything. Then we can add in our floors all the way around here. This is where we have our entrance from our mobility chute, so we're going to add a window and a single door for there, giving us a nice exit out onto shooting floor. And now we're at the top of the mobility chute. That's our spot for our turret there. Then next to that, we're going to have a couple of bedrooms, one on the left and right. The window is going to be on the side where the turret is, on both bedrooms. Placing your window there. Just like that. Now on this hexagon section, we can do half wall, low wall, with a full wall in the center, and that's going to give us those nice head glitches that I was talking about before. Backwards facing roofs, for style, for honeycomb, for whatever reason, they look sick, and they will most likely need to be upgraded to shipping container or adobe, because we don't want anything sticking through, blocking bed placement. Then from there, we add a spot for a turret before we add in these 2 triangle roofs, and again I would upgrade those if you've got the DLC. And then we can add in those floors, allowing us to get that peak. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, the rest of the defense floor gets wrapped in garage doors. And our centerpiece is, of course, that little single door section that gives us access to our ladder hatch. Spot for some small boxes there, or you can stock them up in nades. And then we'll add a ceiling on top of all of this. Now all that's left to do is roof. We're going to work our way over to where shooting floor is and essentially raise that up a little bit taller, mimicking pretty much what we've got down below. This section here houses some nice peaks, and then of course our turret with a windmill on top. Turret goes in there on top of a shelf behind some chain link, and the windmill goes on top, nice and accessible and easy for your electrician. All the electricity work is on roof and making life easy for you guys. On top of our funneled door down in compound, we're going to raise that all the way up with frames. That's going to give us our backwards peak. A really nice angle here. And that's how you build that. Super clean. Nice angles. Wall that in. Have a little backwards roof on there. Looking very stylish. And from the outside, you'd never know that it's actually an angle from roof, which is super cool. You can still get a bed in here and a small box or anything else that you might need. And then just to give us a little bit more security up on the roof, we'll add that floor and a window just to give us some more spots to hide. And then we'll do that over here as well. And again, three-sided symmetry, so you're going to do that on top of all the funneled door frame sections in compound. And there we go. Seal that up at the top. Give us somewhere to hide. Nice, nice, nice. And we'll add in that window frame as well. Okay, last section to do here, we're going to raise up these frames. And this is where we get the kind of breach peak section. You still get that kind of wide gapped area. And then you get windows on the left and right. Your breach peak goes in the middle. Just like that. And then we can add a little bit more of a mountain roof section here. And lastly, two more roofs here with a wall to cover up as well, making us nice and safe on our roof. Okay, that's all the peak section done. Remember, in the middle we do have bedrooms with a spot for a battery too. That middle triangle is used for nothing. Let's just call it honeycombing. Add a ceiling on top of that, and that completes our base design. Hopefully you boys and girls have enjoyed this video. If you did, then please feel free to leave me a like and drop me a comment down below. This base is an absolute bang, and I really hope to see it out there on some servers. Drop me a sub if you're sound, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you in a bit.